Hey, what's up, Silas here. Thanks for coming. This is a very important video. There's some things that I think we need to be concerned about. A lot of people, nobody's talking about this. A lot of people are justly worried about the pandemic that's going on. Lives are being lost for sure. But if we don't pay attention to what's going on, there's going to be a lot of steps that we've taken in the past to secure other people's lives that are going to be thrown away. For example, I just heard something in the United States of America. There's this bill being passed to go around, and the Republicans, as usual, they don't want to allow the Democrats to help fund Planned Parenthood. They want control over women's bodies. They don't want women to have control over their bodies. This is the thing. They're trying to politicize this movement. I saw something saying that this situation is going to kill the progressive movement. People are still trying to fight this. They're trying to take away all the gains that these movements have done. They're trying to move away the interest. Women are the most affected by this. Women are affected in ways that men can't understand. And I just want to be an ally. I want to read you this article. This is something that was happening before. Somebody sent this to me, and I saw it and was like, should I read it now? It's a time when people might be interested in other things. But I saw this, and I saw this article saying women are going to be affected in ways that men don't know about, in different ways. They also added that the progressive movement, feminism, things like this are going to be injured by this. And it's correct, because there's a lot of gains that were made. People were focused on that. And now we're going to go back, and people are going to want to take hundreds of steps back. They're going to want to put women back. Right now, women have to be at home. I saw somebody with this horrible memes coming around like, if now that we have to stay at home, I hope you picked a woman that can cook. Who does these male chauvinist things? It's current year. It's people need to stop talking about things like this. Women can do anything. Women are the most powerful beings, and we need to be able to support them. And then now men are going to start saying, we have these troubles, we have this, we have that. And they're going to completely forget all the issues that women are actually facing. I saw another one that's just another garbage thing. They're making fun of the wage gap that's been proven, that Barack Obama has been talking about, and other people have carried it on. And Donald Trump is this ignoring the science, ignoring the facts, and he doesn't want to listen to them. They're saying things like, one of this bad thing about men not being in work is men are losing $1 to every 0.79 cents that women are losing. This is horrible things, making fun of really serious situations. So I'm going to read you this article. Somebody sent it to me. It's called, "It Has Become an Epidemic, Seeing So Many Emotional and Attractive Men Being Single." And just wait till I read you this article. I saved it as a PDF, because I downloaded it. I wanted to think about this and to see if it was the right time. And I said, let's just do it now. See who they try to blame for this. Who do you think they're going to blame for this already? It's a patriarchal society. Who do you think is going to be blamed for this? Do you think men are going to take responsibility? Just guess. Who's going to be blamed for this? Okay, let me just pause and set it up. It should be recording now. And it's going to be on the screen so you can read along with me, and I'm going to try to read through and just give some commentary, because it's very frustrating. And I think this kind of thinking is something that's going to be brought back. They're going to it's bad, and we need to watch out for this, because just check this out. Okay. It has become an epidemic seeing so many emotional and attractive men being single. And then they have a picture here of Michael B. Jordan. He was in Black Panther and I think Friday Night Lights. It was a movie with just, again, that whole male environment, machismo type of like playing football and all these type of things. People are all like, sports are gone, like poor athletes, these millionaires are gone, and they're worried about these things. No, there's actually women out there who are losing jobs, who are being put in situations where they don't want to be, and people are too much focused on these wealthy celebrities and athletes and focused on this male-centric. It's a horrible situation. Anyway, so let's keep going with this. Okay. So have you ever thought about why many passionate and handsome men are often single? Well, they are alone not because they think too highly of themselves or believe they're more superior to the rest, but because they can't find girls deserving of their love and respect. Deserving of their love and respect? So the girls owe them something? Are they just gifts to girls? What is this? And why are they saying girls? These are women. Maybe you should stop looking for girls and be looking for women. You're just afraid of strong women. That's why they say that. So it's not that they're afraid that someone might break their heart and shatter all their hopes, or that they're only interested in pursuing their personal growth and maintaining a strong social network. No, it's their emotional intelligence and high self-esteem that prevents them from getting into a relationship with someone just for the sake of it. Okay, so this is a fallacy. I mean, we know men just go around and just sleep with anyone. That's how men are. I mean, that's why they need to be controlled. That's why we need to teach men how to behave. You can't just act like, oh, they don't need to actually have some guidance. They don't need rules and regulations in order to behave in certain ways in public. I mean, there's this whole thing, women civilize men. This is a common saying. People understand this situation. And what's this emotional intelligence? They just want to keep pretending, like, oh, the bell curve. Have you seen the bell curve? Women are smarter. They did these tests and they found out that 13-year-old girls are smarter than 13-year-old boys. I mean, this is a thing now. Some of these things have just been debunked already. Like, why do people, now they're switching to emotional intelligence because they can't take intelligence anymore? Now that you have more women graduating from university, they can't use regular intelligence anymore. They can't use those tricks anymore. So now they're switching to emotional intelligence. These are just fake things. These are just made up things. Okay, they don't want to waste their time and energy on a girl who can't keep up with them in all aspects of life. Being with someone who lacks confidence and feelings of affection and doesn't bother to commit is out of the question. Okay, so what do you mean doesn't bother to commit? Men just, they don't want to ask anymore. Men don't want to ask. I saw this article talking about women have to start asking men out now. The situations where women have to marry themselves now. They're being forced to ask men out. They're being forced to marry people. They're being forced to have apps where they go and open the first world. I mean, they're being forced to go out and actually pay for their own dates and things like this. This is horrible. I mean, they're talking about women. They can't, this is ridiculous. They can't keep up with them. Why are these men thinking they're so special? What's so special about them? And they use this photo of Michael B. Jordan, but I guarantee you most of the men are nowhere close to as rich or handsome as Michael B. Jordan. These are just people who are just basement dwellers and people like that who think this is them. This is not about you. Why are they using that picture? I mean, this is just not right. Okay, so if you wonder why a lot of emotive and stunning men are single, make sure you read the following reasons. Who wrote this? Robin Cooper. Robin Cooper, that's a unisex name. It's probably some man. Or some self-hating woman. Anyway, so here they are. They have very high standards. Of course. These men are aware of their worth and won't accept to be with someone who isn't compatible with them. Their girl, first of all, their girl. You don't own women. You don't own women's bodies. Their girl must possess all the necessary characteristics this type of men are looking for in a woman. See, they know how to use woman, so why are they saying girl there? Being stable, confident, self-sufficient, and nurturing matters a lot. Why can't they be stable, confident, self-sufficient? They're looking for a mom or are they looking for a partner? What are they looking for here? You know? I mean, the women shouldn't be there. See, they're going with this thing. They're looking for a girl, and then they're looking for somebody, a mother, in the same way. They can't just look at women as just adults and individuals. They have to look at them as these things they have to put in these little boxes that they have set for them. It's disgusting, and we need to stop this. And I'm telling you, these men are going to take advantage of this pandemic, of this panic and things like that, just take advantage and take all the positives and the leaps and bounds that we've made. I mean, we had so much further to go, and they're just going to take us back. They're going to take the world back in this situation. Okay, they put in a great deal of effort and energy in becoming accomplished in different spheres. Super caring and gorgeous men like doing whatever they can to become more self-sufficient and improve themselves on a personal and professional level. Like women don't do this. They don't wait and let things sort themselves out. On the other hand, it seems that women lack the ambition and dedication to maintain a stable personality. This is something else men can't stand. You see, again, this is the whole histrionics, the whole hysteric women stereotype, and just it's not true. Women aren't like that. They're trying to take, you see, they're the ones talking about emotional intelligence, but no, women have shown that women are just as capable as men, even if not better at doing things. I mean, people think about things like postpartum depression. Do you think a man could be able to handle that? No. Women have to handle so much. So much goes on in their life. They have to deal with things like PMS, once a month, every month, of the year for their first 60 years. It's a crazy thing. They have to do these things. These are so many things. Women are just so strong, and they just have the situation, different spheres. Oh, you're a Renaissance man? Like I said, you're not Michael B. Jordan. Most of these people can't even have one job. It's hard for these people to even have employment, and then they're going to be talking about what women have to do. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. Okay, number 3. They already feel complete. If you're complete, then why do you need someone? Why do they need someone? Why are they complaining? This kind of man doesn't need a girl to feel emotionally complete and grounded. They already have amazing friends and careers. They always look for skills and resources to be secure. If they decide to be with someone, then she must respect and know how to deal with this. This isn't respect, this is worship. They just want somebody to follow. They just want like a trophy wife or something. If you just want a trophy wife and you're going to focus on your career and your amazing friends and just show someone off to your friend, just go get some young bimbo or something. I mean, they're out there. I mean, those are very few women and they've just been caught up by the system. And you can find someone like that. You can just pay someone who just wants to just take your money and things like that. But then don't complain when she divorces you and takes half. Because this is what happens to these men. They just go and get low quality people and they just think they can use them. Then the woman grows up and realizes she has the power and then she does that. And then people start complaining that, oh, the courts are unfair. It's like, no, this is just making up for the years, the countless years and decades and centuries that women have just been under the control of men. Okay, number 4. They can't tolerate bullshit. Hell yeah. Why would you think otherwise? Yeah, this is definitely a man who wrote this at Robin, because why would they say hell yeah? No woman would be this self-hating. So these men would never allow someone to play little devious mind games with them. Okay, if the woman's just smart to you and you're afraid of her, she's not playing mind games. If you just can't handle it, you're talking about your emotive and you can have this intelligence, then just understand it, deal with it, man up. They'll never let anyone juggle with their feelings, cheat on them, and lie to them. Men cheat a lot more. I mean, people try to say, women just cheat as much, but they're just not caught. This is a complete lie. Like, where's the evidence? I don't see the science. Where are the studies to actually back that? Where are the figures? We got studies for wage gap and things like that, but where are the studies for this? Where are the studies backing this? These are things just men are making up to make excuses for them not being able to actually just think with their big head. They've had this kind of crappy experiences many times before, and now they won't let them be manipulated again. This thing, they're trying to pretend that every woman is just the same. Just because you've had a situation with one woman who you probably did something wrong to them, in most of these cases, what did they do? They're just blaming the woman in this situation. What did they do to get in this situation? It's not just the women. You're only hearing one side of the story here. You're only hearing, the man, the woman did this, and then one woman is supposedly like all the women. You're just going to project what you had with one woman. You probably didn't listen to her. You probably weren't paying attention enough. You're too focused on your friends and your career. And then this happens, and then now you're going to blame and just carry that anger and just put it on every single woman. There's probably issues with your mother, there's probably some things coming from that. Like, imagine if you were treating every woman like this woman who hurt you. Is that how your mother and sister are? Is that how you're going to treat them just because one woman treated you badly? This is ridiculous. Okay. Number 5. The childish dream of marrying the cheerful and resourceful princess does no longer exist. It does not longer exist. This is part of what I was talking about. These antiquated roles, these things that just control the way women behave in these set roles. And that's what I was talking about, that recent thing that I saw people saying, oh, look, you found a woman that could cook and things like this. I saw this one video of this woman who was just terrified. She had this job in the financial sector, and then now she had to spend time with her kid. I think it was somewhere in the United Kingdom. And she was just talking about how now they're going to put her on welfare. They don't want to pay her. They're going to fire her and things like this. I bet you're going to see there's going to be a majority of women are going to be fired. There's going to be more women fired from their jobs. Yes, I know more women are working than men in some places right now, but still that's going to result in seeing more women being fired from jobs. And we're not going to talk about this. People are going to be like, what about the men? What about the men? Like this article. They're like, oh, she should stay home and take care of the kids. But how is she going to afford it? The man probably left her in that situation. How is she going to afford this? She was told it was going to be daycare. She was told this whole situation was going to last. And then people are not going to listen to her. People are going to be focused so much on like LeBron James and all these basketball players and things like that, losing money or whatnot. When's the NFL going to start? They just want these distractions instead of focusing on the actual women out there that are hurting during this time. The childish dream of marrying the cheerful, resourceful princess no longer exists. Well, that's okay. I mean, this whole idea of the princess thing is horrible. If you actually look into history, the way princesses were treated was horrible ways. It was just men selling them off. Mostly the kings, they just sell their daughters off to these older men that they've never actually met for political reasons. They were just being used as pawns, as tools, and that's the thing that's been kept on. People have been lying to women to make them think of these princess marriages and then making them go into debt for these massive weddings and getting their feelings and things and intentions set up and blowing up their intentions for it. And then when the women get all stressed and want it to be perfect, they start saying this is bridezilla and things like this. And the women are so demanding and they want all these dresses. But it's their fault. They're the ones who are saying this. You're going to say, oh, this is a princess. Then men are going to complain and having to spend 1/3 of their actual salary in order to actually just put down. But then the women, when they actually have to get married and they drop out, you see that married women, the amount of money they earn goes down. So yeah, you can save 3 months of your salary just to show up and just be like, look, you're already going to be earning more than a woman who's doing the same job you are. So if you're going to take a woman out of the workforce, the least you can do is sacrifice 3 months of your actual salary and actually just pay that woman and show that, look, we recognize that you have this. If you are actually spending time with me and doing whatever you want to do, sacrificing all this time, the least you can sacrifice is 3 months of your salary. I mean, that's just a normal thing. So let's read this and see what kind of nonsense and tripe they're going into. So we're having some power outages here. I mean, this male government and things like that, they're going to have these male-ran industries. We're going to pretend that, oh, because of the pandemic, we don't really have to keep these services up and things like that. Just excuses. So they talk about these predominantly male actual departments, but the predominantly male work jobs are not doing well. Those fields are not doing that well. They need to have more women in there, and they're going to have better organizations and things like that and trying to control these things. But then in these third world countries, are just backwards on those things. So anyway, so picking back up where you are, reading number 5, the actual content here. So it says, they've grown up. Yeah, so I was wondering if this Robin Cooper was a man or a woman. The names can be unisex, but definitely a man. They've grown up, so what's this kind of situation and things like that? Anyway, so they don't believe in these delusions anymore. They don't need a wife to feel accomplished and purposeful. They don't need someone to sleep next to at night. They even know that they don't need a girl to have kids. Yeah, you shouldn't have girls. You shouldn't just tell girls what to do. I mean, now women have taken back their power and they've taken back control over their bodies and they can't just be baby-making machines. And these people are trying to pretend that now it's up to them. No, women took that back. We've empowered women. And everybody knows, like Christopher Hitchens used to say, that the best way to actually enable and empower a community and environment is to empower the women. Let them have access to education. Give them control over their birth. Give them birth control. And then when you do that, then all of a sudden you just have such success with those communities. It's a proven thing. These are facts out there. So they're not ashamed to be single fathers and pave the path to their happiness on their own. So this thing is ashamed to be single fathers. Now they're trying to act like this. They're trying to act like it's a different thing, For a long time, they've been talking about how, single mothers, they've been talking bad about single mothers, just equating single parenthood to single motherhood and just treating them badly. And now that finally women have actually gotten a situation where we're noticing that you don't have to have those traditional families, now these men want to pretend that, now all of a sudden they're okay with it. And even when they want to do it, they still have to borrow a woman's body. They can't do it on their own. They still need a woman in order to have that kid. They're going to get a surrogate or did that kind of situation and pay a woman to do that, to rent the womb. They still do that situation. So they can't just pretend that, men still can't just make babies. I mean, where did you come from? You came from a woman. Everybody came from a woman. And they have to know that. They have to know that. So even if they're going to do this happiness on their own, it's not on their own. They still need a woman's womb to actually have that kid. So that's okay. I mean, yeah, women don't have to do these things. And this whole princess bride thing, women have also grown up. Women are getting over this whole lie that you guys used to tell them. So, yeah. Okay, the next one, number 6. They are never a second option. These men always come first and will never settle for anything less than that. If most girls are so naive to believe that they can easily replace these men with the first one they find on social media, they're awfully wrong. These men have a sixth sense, and if they feel something strange is going on behind their backs, they'll stop that even before it begins. Yeah, so here, this is the whole second option thing. Men are trying to pretend like they haven't just been in a patriarchy and living ahead. This is the whole situation where equality to people who have been ahead seems like it's some kind of second option type thing. Seems like it's some kind of restriction. But no, this is just equality. You were just so used to just being ahead that men now can't actually handle women having power and just scared of the situation, scared of losing the power that they had, that they thought they had, that they thought they were owed. So on to the next one, which I think is the last one, yeah. So number 7, a lot of girls feel unworthy of emotional and handsome men. Yeah, more blaming of women here. This kind of man is aware of their power as well. Yet they'll never consent to act as if they're naive or stupid so that they don't diminish the comfort of some girl or make her feel inferior to them. These men know what they deserve, and if women can't deal with it, then I'm sorry, but it's their loss. See here, again, it's a victim blaming. This is a situation. Men have been lording their energy over their force and their strength and their anger and their size over women for all this time. And then now they're trying to pretend that it's women who have these kind of inferiority complexes. This is not how it is. Talking about their loss, they're talking diminished comfort. It's men who are constantly threatening women. You don't see women wolf whistling at men in the streets and things like that. And even if they did, even if a woman actually had certain advances and things like that in the workplace, it's not like they have power over them. It's not like they can just physically dominate that man. I mean, this is some kind of behavior that just men want to pretend. Yeah, men want to pretend that, oh, most of the people who are actually victims of physical violence are men. They say that. But then who's committing the crimes? It's the men. Men are also attacking other men just because women aren't doing it. So you can't just blame the women in this kind of situation. This is just a wrong thing. So here, this is Robin Cooper. Robin Cooper is a professional writer who writes informative. This is not that informative. It's informative about patriarchy. And creative articles. Yeah, creative by just making things up. On topics related to various fields of study. What study is this? It's probably like male studies or something like that. Like just something just stuffing up their own like mind and things like this. Just lies are being told. So written with love. There's no love in this article. This is hate. Written with love and enthusiasm. His articles inspire readers to broaden their knowledge of the world. Think and get ready to act. Act about what? You see, this is what I'm talking about. In this kind of article, this is an example of the things that are going to happen. If we don't watch out, we're going to lose all these steps. Okay, that's enough of that article. Thanks for reading. If you guys are still here, good stuff, good stuff. You've been here. You've made it through this situation. But this article right here, it has become an epidemic. It has become epidemic seeing so many men. Even just the way like it has become epidemic. Anyway, let me show you the actual article. Here we go. It has become epidemic seeing so many smart and attractive women being single. So I saw this article some time back. This was years back. It's like 1/18/2019. And then I have some other videos where I do a little characters and I get into the point of view, try to understand and just see how many people can actually tell. And in those videos, a lot of people are like, oh, like they start commenting early and just bash me for what I'm saying. I think one was about black slavery or white transatlantic slavery, the white slavery being the worst. There's one about like a Black Panther video and things like this, where I'm playing a character. In this one, what do you think I was saying about that article, about men in that situation? Do you think that was an accurate portrayal of how men are? Do you think I was being fair? Do you feel I was being sexist? Do you think I was twisting what was actually written in the article? Was that article just pro-men, pro-single men in a way that just big up single men without putting down women? Without saying women are failing men in some kind of situation, without holding women to unfair standards? Was there much about it? Shouldn't it have been more about what the man was doing? What I was saying that. So I saw this article and they used Emma Watson. And so I decided to switch out Emma Watson with with Michael B. Jordan. This is just a young, attractive, physically attractive in general, rather well-off celebrity of sorts that's well-known around the world and things like this, who is being used as some kind of figurehead, some kind of mascot. And Emma Watson herself has taken over some of these things. She was in, what was it, Me for You or something like that? You for Me? There was some kind of, I think I did a short video about it. He for She. There was some kind of international organization type of thing with the UN or something, which again, these people, the UN Secretary General just recently put a call out to say that due to the pandemic, he's calling for a global ceasefire. I'm like, wait, the United Nations is not for a global ceasefire when there isn't a pandemic? These organizations are doing these things where I'm just like, if you've been paying attention, then you're not surprised of just how infantile and how ineffective they are in a situation like this. Why are you calling for this? Do you think someone is really thinking like, ooh, wait, I was actually in war, in a physical bloody war with this person, but now that this potential pandemic is coming around, I'm going to now put those down and just stop the war, and then like, oh yeah, we'll just put a boycott, we'll just have a self-quarantine of our warring parties for 3 months, and then we're going to pick it back up where we left after it. That's not going to happen. Anyway, the World Health Organization, again, just all these people are just a mess. When you have the United Nations having people like Zoe Quinn going up there talking about gender bullying online, then you actually, if you look at the figures, you see some of that bullying, a significant amount of that bullying that women supposedly have online that gives them PTSD comes from other women. This kind of situation of certain standards about the way women are supposed to like slut shaming is something that is predominantly from women. when it comes to males in general, you're either the type of person who likes sluts, like that's maybe 40% of men who like sluts for whatever the reason, the easy access to the sexuality, and then they do that and they get into that, or they're the kind who don't like sluts, who might think like, oh, if you just have intercourse with one or more person, you have traditional values, you have certain values where that just disqualifies that person, but you're not necessarily going out constantly shaming men for that. There might be a 20% who don't care, that are more actually into the whole religious aspect, that feel it's their need to go save that person and pull them out of that situation. Then there's also those like people who feel like they just need a good man in their life to make them turn their way around. So this is that kind of situation, but I think in most cases it's women who are policing other women on their behavior in that situation. But anyway, coming back to this article, I saw this article and I read it and I was like, what if I just switch a few words around and see how it is if it's from the man's point of view, if this is for a man. So I'm just going to do a speed read of this without commentary through with the things that I changed. Try to see if you can pick up what I changed. I think I'll leave a link below once I post it on my blog or something. I'll leave the actual blog post out there. I'll leave a PDF, a link to the PDF or something up, or I'll post it on the blog with what I changed maybe in red so you can kind of see the changes I was made. But listen, just listen to it now and see if you feel any different about what I said now versus when I was reading it about it being single men who are the ones who need help, this epidemic. And again, these terms with epidemic, the way people literally mean figuratively, some of the terms and the words and the fears and the things we're supposed to fight and need to save and need to help these terms have been devalued. These terms have been cheapened by overusing them. If this is an epidemic, what percent of women is it? Then are you called to the actual pandemic we're going on right now, when you actually need to use those words to actually identify really serious situations? If you've been using them for Emma Watson's situation, an epidemic in that sense, it cheapens it when you're talking about an actual pandemic. Because for some people, that actual pandemic is end of the world type of things. Yet Emma Watson's situation, I don't necessarily think it's end of the world. So just into the reading, it's going to be a speed read. So have you ever thought about why many intelligent and gorgeous women are often single? Well, they're alone not because they think too highly of themselves or believe they're more superior to the rest, but because they can't find guys worthy of their love and respect. It's not that they're afraid that someone might break their heart and shatter all their hopes, or that they're only interested in pursuing their career goals and achieving high social status. No. It's their intellectual abilities and high self-esteem that prevents them from getting into a relationship with someone just for the sake of it. They don't want to waste their time and energy on a guy who can't keep up with them in all aspects of their life, being with someone who lacks confidence and feelings of affection. So, if you wonder why a lot of intelligent and stunning young women are single, make sure you read the following reasons. Here they are. 1. They have high standards. These women are aware of their worth and won't accept to be with someone who isn't compatible with them. Their guy must possess all the necessary characteristics this type of women are looking for in a man. Being strong, confident, independent, and driven matters a lot. They put in a great deal of effort and energy in becoming accomplished in different spheres. Super smart and gorgeous women like doing whatever they can to become more independent and improve themselves on a personal and professional level. They don't wait for things to get done by themselves. On the other hand, it seems that men lack the ambition and commitment to shoot for high goals. This is something these women can't stand. They already feel complete. This kind of woman doesn't need a guy to feel emotionally complete and accomplished. They already have amazing friends and careers. They always look for new goals and passions to pursue. If they decide to be with someone, then he must respect and know how to deal with this. Number 4, they can't tolerate bullshit. Hell yeah, why would you think otherwise? These women would never allow someone to play their little devious mind games with them. They'll never let anyone juggle with their feelings, cheat on, and lie to them. They've had this kind of crappy experience many times before, and now they won't let be manipulated again. So that one was actually a typo in itself, so I tried to correct the things, but anyway, won't let themselves be manipulated again. I think that should be there. Okay. So the childish dream of marrying the prince on a white horse does not exist anymore. So maybe this isn't copy over in a correct way. So anyway, they've grown up. They don't believe in these delusions anymore. They don't need a husband to feel safe and protected. They don't need someone to watch them while they sleep at night. They even know that they don't need a guy to have kids. They're not afraid to be single mothers and pave the path to their happiness on their own. Number 6, they're never a second option. These women always come first and will never settle for anything less than that. If most guys are so naive to believe that they can easily replace these women with the first one they find on social media, they're awfully wrong. These women have a sixth sense, and if they feel something strange is going on behind their backs, they'll stop that even before it begins. A lot of guys feel intimidated by smart and attractive women. That's number 7, the last one. This kind of woman is aware of their power as well, yet they'll never consent to act as if they're naive or stupid, so that they won't diminish the confidence of some guy or make him feel inferior to them. These women know that they know what they deserve, and if men can't deal with it, then I'm sorry, but it's their loss. So that's it. That's by Riley Cooper, and I just switched the Riley Cooper name to Robin Cooper, and Riley Cooper is also a unisex name, and this was written by a woman. So how did you think if a man was writing that about men and talking about women in that kind of way? What was your opinion about that? But now it's Riley Cooper is a professional writer who writes informative and creative articles on topics related to various fields of study, written with love and enthusiasm. Her articles inspire readers to broaden their knowledge of the world and think and get ready to act. Does this make you think that Riley Cooper is really an appropriate person to be writing about men in that way, in this way? Does she know the women's experience and then be able to actually treat and know and project and say, this is what's happening with men, this is how men are failing? So let me know what you thought about this. I am going to be doing some more videos like this. I'm not actually going to be introducing at the start. I might do more characters and things like that, but I want to do some more articles like this. Some of these articles, I might get into a situation where I tell you in the video that I was making it up, or I might get some situations where I just post something and just let it sit out there. Then a couple of videos later, I come out and I'm like, okay, that video was made up because of this and this. I got some other ideas. I got some other things. I want to just try to make this channel a little more interesting, a little more interactive. Let me know what you thought about this. I'm sure there's going to be some of you that cut off the video early. There's going to be some of you that did start commenting on the start things before actually getting into this. There might be some of you actually who actually supported the thing. I'm like, yeah, finally, a man is actually speaking out against the male chauvinist people and actually talking about the truth and speaking into power, and we're going to have some allies for feminism and things like that. I don't know. There might have been some of you who were going with that, and then now you're kind of disappointed that I switched to this article. But let me know what you guys think. Like, share, and subscribe. There's links below to the merchandise store. I think I'm going to highlight the Feminism shirt. I have a couple of series on the Feminism shirts, which is like a mantis, and a friend of mine said something. I was talking to a really good friend of mine, one of my best friends. She's female. She's female, yeah. She's actually like biologically female. She doesn't just identify as a female. You can identify as a woman and still be biologically female. So she's both biologically female and she's a cisgendered female. She's a cis woman female. Anyway, so I was telling her about what praying mantises do. The whole situation of the reproductive process when the man actually goes in and tries and copulates with the female praying mantis, who's a lot larger than them, sexual dimorphic in that kind of sense. And then the man is trying to escape after it, and the man normally gets caught and actually killed to be used as nutrition for the impregnation for the eggs and things growing up. And then the woman was like, she said something, she said, "Ooh, that's strange." No, it was, yeah, wait, one of my best friends. There's a friend I knew back in New York City. I'm getting these things confused. But anyway, she is female, she is cis. And she was like, wow, that's horrible. That sounds like a good mascot for feminism. I was like, oh wow, that's actually true. And then I did the drawing and the mantis. So yeah, that merchandise is going to be on the screen right now. If you like it, there's a lot of other merchandise at the store. You can also help me out by just sharing this, by commenting, by letting me know what you think about this. What do you think the effects are going to be post-pandemic on certain things? I actually do think the feminist movement is going to take a blow because of what current day feminism is articles like this. It's not actual issues, and people are going to have this reset and look at actual potential issues in the world. There's going to be a lot of women and a lot of men who are living certain lifestyles that they've taken things for granted. They've been taught X things are bad and Y things are what you want, and Z is how you get it. And now with this reset, people are rethinking. They're like, is X really that bad? Was Z actually the way I actually want to get this Y? Is this the Y that I actually should be taking? People are going to reset and rethink the way they do things and start reestablishing things. People, I think, are going to have a more comfortable work-life balance. People are going to start thinking, what if our families are different? Why was the nuclear family established? What reality were people living in when the nuclear family became the most stable type of family, most commonly spread type of family that was taught to the kids? What were the positives of that? Now that we live in this reality, how can we change? How can we still have those benefits of having a family, having a secure life, having a community, having friends, having some kind of fulfillment in your job, but find it in different ways? Instead of trying to tweak the old systems into this new reality, let's see what the new reality is and develop new systems, because women have changed. The definition of what is expected from an adult female human being in current year is completely different, because the resources and challenges and abilities are different. They're not as limited by their actual physicality, by the physical differences between males and females. So we need to start rethinking. We can't just roll it back to the traditional times, because that's another limitation. And you look back at the traditional times, it's not like some men are like, let's bring back the patriarchy of the past. Hey, that patriarchy of the past also had people in like wars and stuff like that and being like drafted. It's not like the men were living like some great magnificent life back then. They were still dying at work at higher rates than they're already dying now. Yes, it's something like 90% of jobs, 90% of workplace deaths are men. In the past, when you discount the actual like giving birth deaths, it was like 99% of workplace deaths were men in the past, like 99.9%. So let's not go back to that time, things like that. There's also negative things about that. There's going to be differences in what men want. I think it's going to take a time for people to rethink, and all the things that you were just doing off of momentum, you're going to now sit and think, why was I doing this? What am I trying to gain out of this? What if I did not have access to any of the things that I've taken for granted in my life and still want some of the things? And I've still figured out of all the things I thought I wanted, these are the few things I actually do think I value. Now, if I didn't have anything that I took for granted, if I had to pick and choose which of these things best get me to these minor minimum set of things, these core things that I want, how do I actually achieve that? So I think that will change, because when you have feminism, when you have progressivism, when you have patriarchy, when you have all these older ideas, they were ideas that we inherited from the past that don't necessarily fit the reality that we're living in today. So that's it for now. Like, share, and subscribe. Once again, thank you very much. Keep safe, keep clean. Hope you enjoy these videos. There's going to be more coming. Hit that notification bell if you're on YouTube as well, and you can actually get notifications. I'm trying to see if there's something with my channel, if I need to title things better, share things better, or just target people in a better way. Anyway, that's it for now. Goodbye.